Yes, YouTube, we are back finally. This has got to be the most inconsistent YouTube channel in history. Well, it's not even inconsistent anymore. I just straight up haven't made a video in 2 months. I think my last vlog was 2-3 weeks post show, possibly, when I was still in my reverse stage. But I mean, I don't have any excuses. I have just been lazy with it. I've had plenty of times I could have made vlogs, but obviously Christmas came, and if you follow me on Instagram, I've literally just posted a story. I got a DJI Osmo Pocket 3 off my parents for Christmas. Couldn't have asked for a better present. I didn't ask for it. They didn't even know I wanted one. My mum said she wasn't even sure if what she was buying was something I'd like. But trust me, it absolutely is. Honestly, of all the Christmas presents I've received in my life, this is the best one. So thank you to my parents. I am so grateful. I've probably mentioned it in my videos before. The setup I had before this was just my phone, Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, which is good if the lighting's good, if you're in natural lighting, or say in my living room where we've got bright lights. But filming in the gym is absolutely shit. I used to think it was because the gym lighting was bad, but turns out, even though it's supposed to be like a 200 megapixel camera or whatever smartphones are nowadays, it just wasn't good. But I've filmed some bits in the gym today from my posterior session, which you will see later in the video, and the quality is absolutely insane. So I can't wait for you to see that. Obviously, me being me, some of the clips I got, I'm still getting used to this camera. My head's cropped out in some bits and angles just look a bit wanky, but I'm going to film another session tomorrow. I've got legs tomorrow, and we all love leg day, so I will film that. And well, obviously, I've said this in many of my previous videos, my content will get better as I go on, but now I've actually got a decent setup, there is no reason that my content won't get indefinitely better. But yeah, I know it's the 10th of January now, but Happy New Year to everyone that's watching. Hope you had a good Christmas and you all got decent presents and had a good time seeing friends, family, whatever it is you were doing. If you were working, then I feel sorry for you. This was the first Christmas. I mean, I've started working when I was 13 years old. I turned 31 this year, and so I've been working for 17 years in various different professions, but for the most part I was a chef. I was a chef for 12-13 years of that, so I've never been used to having a Christmas off. Maybe I think I've maybe had 1 or 2 Christmas days off in that time, but every other day around Christmas I've always worked. And now that I'm working in construction, I ended up having 2.5 weeks off, which was absolutely insane. Unfortunately, me and my flatmate did fall ill. It was like the day after Boxing Day, we both came down with something. Couldn't move, couldn't do anything. I did drag myself out for a few walks, and on the days where I did feel slightly better, I did drag my ass to the gym and get a couple of sessions in, but they were not great. I had zero strength, but I felt like if I just stayed at home, then I would have got skinny and wasted away, and we don't want that when we're in the middle of an off season. Obviously I did have a couple of extra rest days, but it sort of cleared up a couple of days after New Year. Didn't do anything for New Year, was in bed for 10:30. But I mean, I haven't been out for the last 4 New Years, so that's nothing new to me. But yeah, I thought I'd jump on finally and do a little vlog. I did want to start doing my content obviously from the start, like the 1st of January, and get into a rhythm with it then. But with being ill, and I mean, I've had a couple of days this week where I've just not felt great, but I do feel back to 100% now. For the last 3 days I've trained. The sessions have been absolutely insane, like literally the best sessions I've had in months, if not years. My focus, drive, and I mean, well, saying that, the last 3 days I've probably been the least motivated. Like, obviously going back to work this week, some of the days it's been minus whatever, the snow and ice. Couldn't even get to work on Tuesday because I was driving to work. The site I was on requires going down back roads. The snow had completely frozen over, and I ended up skidding my car down a hill about 30 metres. The only way to get out of where I ended up was to go back up that hill, which my car just wouldn't, well, it just wasn't capable of doing. I did try, but the only other way was to go down an even steeper hill, and I didn't really fancy skidding out twice in one day, so I left my car there. Ended up walking back up the hill. I slipped down and luckily got picked up from the top and just went home. So it was an impromptu rest day, and I'd already had a rest day Monday because Monday is always a rest day. So I'm, instead of having my usual 2 days training, 1 day off, 3 days training, 1 day off, I ended up having both my rest days, Monday, Tuesday. So I am day 3 into a 5-day straight of working out, and I know I've kicked this illness now and I am feeling a bit better, but I have felt battered, like, as you always do. You might feel better, but sometimes your body isn't 100% recovered. Did not want to go to the gym at all this week. In the last 3 days I've literally had to drag myself there after work, and I've just had some incredible sessions. So I mean, obviously there is a fine line between when you actually need to rest and take time off, as opposed to just being a little bitch and going, oh, well, I'm tired, I'm not going to go to the gym today. And I did put an Instagram story about this last night. Motivation isn't always going to be there. I think I've said this in previous videos. I am not motivated probably 80% of the time. Like, I do love the gym, I love training, I love every part of bodybuilding and everything that comes with it. If I didn't, I wouldn't be doing it. But I don't know, especially over winter, I don't like using the term seasonal depression, but my motivation is even less. Not all the time, for the most part, in the winter months. You can't just give in to these feelings, because if I skipped the gym every time I felt tired or I felt a bit sore, well, I wouldn't be a bodybuilder. I'd be at home every night just watching TV, playing Xbox, and I guess doing what normal people do, but that's not the life I like to live. So I'd always drag myself there, and this is the mantra I live by. You've got to follow the plan, not your feelings, because I've got work to do, I've got goals in mind. And obviously, if you follow the channel, you know I competed for the first time in September last year. It's weird saying last year, but it seems as it was only a few months ago. And I'm looking at booking 2026's shows end of this month, probably start of Feb. I've got 3 in mind, all UK DFBA, as I believe it's the best natural federation, and I'm pretty sure most people who compete in natural bodybuilding in the UK will agree with me there. But yeah, I'll go into more detail on that when I actually get closer to or have booked them, and I'll do a little vlog about it and my little plans there. But I am in week 11 of my off season, I think. It's either week 11 or week 12. It's going well. I'm the biggest I've ever been. I am the leanest I've ever been at this, well, yeah, I've never been this lean at this body weight. Not pushing food half as much. Like, to put it into perspective, this time last year I was around 104 kilos and pushing close to, I think it was about 4,700 calories. I'll have to double check that. But this year I am currently sat just over 92 kilos, obviously in great condition, a lot better than the condition I was in last year. And I'm on just short of 3,000 calories a day. But yeah, I'm bigger and stronger, which, I don't know, it's obviously part and parcel of progressing in bodybuilding, but it's just something I can't wrap my head around. Yeah, what a year 2025 was. Obviously had its ups and downs, but I made sure to have more ups and downs. I decided to leave a job. Well, my last chefing job, I decided to leave. I did come out of chefing for a few years, working in private security, doing doors and festivals and all the rest of it, which was awesome. I decided to go back into chefing because in security the money just wasn't there. I was getting paid just over a tenner an hour to spend all night on a door just getting abused and all the rest of it that comes with nightlife. If you go out in towns and cities, you know what the crack is. Everyone just wants to fight all the time, and drunk people are just fucking ridiculous. But yeah, got offered a sous chef job, so for a lot better money, with one of my mates who, funnily enough, also did doors but was also a chef. So I worked with him for a while at a pretty bougie little restaurant. We were promised the world and it wasn't delivered on, so after, I think it lasted 5 months, 6 months maybe, of not getting paid, decided to pack that in. Didn't even put my note, well, we did put our notice in one day, but we put our notice on the side and just walked out just before service because we were sick of being messed about. So I went straight on Indeed, because obviously I've got bills to pay, I've got a flat to look after, I've got a car to run and all that stuff. I went straight on Indeed and luckily found a job at a lovely little pub a bit closer to home. Literally within, I think, 2 days I had an interview. I give myself a week off just to sort of chill out. But yeah, started there, ended up working there for about 1.5 years. Absolutely nothing wrong with that spot. I did enjoy it, got on well with everyone, and I do miss it from time to time, but I soon realised that I just don't have the passion for chefing anymore. It's not something I want to do in my life. So I decided to put my notice in there. When a mate got in touch, knew someone who was looking for a labourer, and I've done this sort of stuff here and there for different people in between jobs over the years, so I thought, why not, let's give it a shot. And I am honestly the happiest I've ever been. Like, a lot of my life was, well, I'll probably go into this in another video as well, but a lot of my life was spent making very bad decisions and going down a path that wasn't going to take me anywhere but probably prison or a coffin. So yeah, we've definitely levelled up. The only mistake I made was deciding to change jobs, literally smack bang in the middle of prep, which was a lot of added stress. But it did lead me to where I am today, and going into this year's show season in such a better place physically, mentally, and just all round grateful for where I've managed to build myself back up to. I did actually write a little list of stuff I wanted to talk about in this video, but I've already been nattering on for just short of 14 minutes now, so I might just jump into the training clips that I got today at the gym. I'm going to do a little voiceover because I wanted to sort of do a training walkthrough video when I got to the gym, because obviously I've got my new setup, I've got my new DJI mic, and I got to the gym, and even at, what time did I get there? 7:30 this morning, the music in the gym was obscenely loud, so I just put my headphones on and got on with it. But I trained posterior and arms. I think I did do a video explaining my new training split for this off season. I will go back and look, and if I haven't, then I'll do another vlog tomorrow and sort of explain my training split. And I also want to do a full day of eating to sort of show you the meals that I'm eating to gain muscle, but obviously put on as little fat as possible to make prep this year a lot easier. As last prep I went from 100 and just over 106 kilos down to 83. I mean, I was obviously very, very lean, but I was not shredded. But obviously I had a very bad starting point, changing jobs and other things that just could have gone a lot better during prep. But this year I'm only just 10 kilos above stage weight, so if I lost 25 kilos last year, losing 10 to 15 this year will be a piece of piss, and I will be coming in shredded, like to levels I've never experienced before, which will obviously be a new challenge, but I look forward to doing it because that's what it takes to win shows, and obviously planning to do multiple shows so I can get better as the shows progress. Obviously I want to do well at all three, but what doesn't work at one, I'll then be able to improve for the next one. I have just noticed actually the battery on my camera is starting to run out. I do have another battery pack, but I might just leave it there for now. I'll get into this training clips and I'll leave it there for today's vlog. But all I want to add to the end of this is how grateful I am for everybody that has been in my life in 2025. Obviously all my friends, my family, my parents, even the people that made my life hard. I'm grateful for that too, because it taught me the lessons I needed to learn to become better and improve myself. And the mindset I've built alongside it is incredible. A lot more mentally strong than I've ever been. I'm literally so driven and determined to reach these goals I've set, and I know 100% in myself that I am going to achieve them, but it all comes down to me and the work I put in. Hence why, just because I don't feel motivated doesn't mean I'm not going to get the work done. I will just continue to work until I've achieved all the goals I set myself. I was going to talk about my goals for 2026, because obviously I've got goals that aren't just bodybuilding related, but I am going to film another vlog tomorrow where everything I didn't say in this vlog I will sort of get onto in that one. If you are still listening at this point, cheers, because I've just been waffling on for like almost 20 minutes, so fair play to you. Also a shout out to all the people who have sort of caught me in the gym and messaged me asking when another YouTube video is coming out, because they enjoy watching it. I big up all of you, because that shit does actually make me feel really good, and it makes this worth it, even if it's just a handful of people getting some value from what I'm saying on YouTube. That is enough for me, and I appreciate every single one of you for watching. If you are watching and you haven't subscribed, please go and subscribe if you like my videos. If you don't like my videos, then go and watch something else, but thanks for watching anyway. Like, comment. I'm going to start doing reels and short form videos again as well. Videos on different exercises, how to be more productive in your training, like meal plan ideas, and just general health and fitness tips and tricks. If there's anything you need help with, whether it's certain exercises, well, yeah, meals, any of that shit, just drop us a message on Instagram. I'll put the link on the screen. Reach out or comment anything you want to see on the channel, and tune in for the next one. Hope you've enjoyed this one, guys. Thanks for watching. Yes, guys, so let's get into the training. I did start off with some single arm cable rows, but just the way the cable machines are situated, there was a guy training next to me and he would have like been half the shot, so I didn't film that. But this is my second movement, straight leg deadlifts. This was my first warm-up set with just a plate aside, just getting a feel for the movement really, and getting my muscle used to the movement that we're about to undertake. Deadlifts are something I haven't done until I started this off season for a very long time. I used to do conventional deadlifts where I did progress them to, I used to do like singles, doubles and triple sets, so not really bodybuilding, more powerlifting, strength training, where I did crack 200 kilos for, I think I got a double, but it might have just been a single rep. But obviously the aim of the game isn't going for strength as much as we are trying to build strength in our movements. Them sort of sets just aren't what we need for bodybuilding. But onto my second set, 2 plates, where I think I did 6 reps, but we're about to find out. I like to progress these nice and slowly, not rushing into anything, as it's a big compound movement and I do not want to injure myself or pull anything in my back, which I have done in the past. My ultimate goal, I really want to get to, say, 190, 200 I've got in my head for 6 reps, as in my working set for SLDLs it is between 5 and 8 reps. Today I did 170 for, I would say 6, but the last rep I didn't quite lock it out, so I only counted it as 5. My third warm-up set is 3 plates, so 140 kilos. I only did 3 reps here. For my warm-up sets, I don't use straps or a belt. I just sort of do it unassisted. Sorry for the sus angle here. A lot of you probably don't want to see this side of me, but I just wanted to see if I could see my hamstrings working while I was doing this movement, which you can obviously see they are. The reason I'm doing a posterior day is because some of the feedback I got, and from what me and my coach said from my stage shots, is I need to bring my glutes, my hamstrings up, as they are some of my biggest lagging body parts. So as well as 1 pull day a week, I do a posterior day plus my usual leg day, which is a lot more hamstring focused. Like I said, my top set is 170 kilos, so 3.5 plates, which I'm really happy with how this is progressing. The key with any form of deadlifts, when you do brace yourself and get into position, obviously it's different whether you're doing an RDL, an SLDL, or a conventional, or even sumo if you're that way inclined, is when you set it up and you're into that movement, obviously a key part is pulling the weight up, but you want to make sure your feet, I like to have the bar like directly over where my shoelaces are tied, and as I'm going into the motion and pulling my body up, I like to sort of envision or press my feet as if I'm trying to press my feet through the floor to get that driving power. As you can see, keeping a neutral spine, knees slightly bent with the glutes sort of kicked out slightly. And at the top of my movement, I'm trying to be mindful to squeeze my glutes, as that's what I'm trying to target with this exercise. And onto this 6th rep, which I didn't quite lock out, so I'm not counting it as a rep. But at least I know going into next week's session that the strength is there, and I will attempt this weight again before progressing my weight up anymore. I was actually seeing stars at this point, and my mate tapped me on the shoulder, said it was a great set, but I literally at that point didn't have a clue what was going on. As you can see, I'm sort of just dazing about the spot. We did end up having a chat for like 20 minutes as he was leaving, but I cut all that out as I didn't have my microphone connected. You couldn't hear a word we were saying, and we were just chatting shit basically. Into my back off set at 140, where I got 10 reps. Most movements I do one heavy working set and then either 1 or 2 back off sets. The rep ranges I go for, working set is either 5 to 9 reps or 6 to 10 reps, and then my back off sets are usually 10 to 15 or 15 to 20 depending on the movement. On this it's 10 to 15, and I just this week upped my back off set from 120 to 140 as I was hitting 15 reps at 120 and felt like a significant jump was there, so I went for it and got 10 reps, so I'm happy with that. I do apologise for any pauses in this voiceover. I am just literally sat here sort of debating what to say. But yeah, overall really good start to the workout, and as I said earlier in the video, Like the last 3 days, my sessions have just been incredible. As you can see, when I do finish the sets, I might look like I'm about to pass out, but I promise you I feel absolutely awesome in that moment, because it's the sign of that I've really put everything I have into that set. Just a little bit of posing, because the pump was just starting to take form now. I am really happy with how my physique is at the moment. Unfortunately, the lighting in the gym does wash me out slightly, but there's nothing I can do about that. I will be doing a proper physique show tomorrow morning when I do my check-ins, so it'll be obviously in a fasted state, and you can get a better idea of how my physique is looking currently. Machine row now. I'm not far off full stacking this. I'm a fan of this machine for the feel of it, but I do not like the handles. I am contemplating attaching some D handles to it to get a better grip, as I can't get my wrist straps around, because it's got really chunky handles, so I can't get my wrist straps in a comfortable position. But like I said, yeah, it's a really nice movement. To neutral grip lat pull down. I usually use the smallest attachment for this, but I literally couldn't see it anywhere, so I've gone for sort of a medium sized one. I do like to keep my elbows a bit more tucked in than this, but you got to work with what you've got. Really good set. I was actually shaking that much my headphones fell off, but I'm not going to let that stop me or distract me from what I'm doing. And that set really did get to me. I couldn't work out which side my headphones were supposed to be to put them on, but did get there eventually. On to biceps now, as it is a posterior and biceps session. Just warming up with some dumbbell curls with the 12.5 kilos. Like I said earlier in the video, I'm on a 5-day straight working block, as I had my 2 rest days at the start of the week, and I train arms in every upper day. So this is my 3rd day in a row training arms, so we are starting to get slightly fatigued. Actually, no, I tell a lie, 4 days in a row I've trained arms for now. Only 2 sets a day, but I was definitely starting to feel it a little bit. My 2 bicep exercises for this session are hammer curls, dumbbell hammer curls and preacher curls, but I always like to warm up with just traditional dumbbell curls. And then I think I was a bit lost in space here. Obviously I had to check the pump in the mirror, but just a little bit spaced out. Have a little wander about, and obviously this is your reminder to stay hydrated in your sessions. That's my intra workout shake, which is glutamine, creatine, joining by Train by JP, which is a joint matrix, and EAAs. Into my first my only working set of dumbbell hammer curls, 5 to 8 reps with the 25 kilos. My form could be improved a little bit here, but I did get an awesome pump regardless. And when I'm training arms, you've got to chase the pump. It's just ingrained in me as a bodybuilder. I did do 2 back off sets with the 20s. I only filmed one of them though. Obviously a lot more controlled, and really squeezing my bicep at the top and controlling the movement on my way back down. Used to be a massive fan of volume training on arms, but as I got my new plan for this year, it's more focused on, like I said, 1 heavy set and then 2 back off sets, which I am actually really enjoying, and I am seeing a lot of arm growth from doing that. Obviously the last few reps sort of start to swing a little bit, but it's not really an issue. And then on to preacher curls, where I also did 1 working set at 30 kilos. That's not including the bar, and 2 back off sets, but I think I've only put my working setting here. Obviously you'll see my body sort of swinging a little bit under the weight, but you'll notice the top of my arms don't move at all, which is the key. You want to go down into full stretch and then bring back up and squeeze, and obviously make sure the motion is controlled all the way throughout, and keep the same tempo. Don't just be swinging it fast and loose. You want to make sure it's going the same speed in every single rep. And as you can tell by the look on my face, this was a heavy set to finish off with. But yeah, that was my workout for today. Obviously there's some sets I didn't film, it was just like the highlights. But then I was just going to get ready to leave, and I thought I'd do a little pump check in the bathroom. The lighting usually does do me some favours, but for some reason it just washed my skin out completely. It doesn't help, I'm pale as anything, and I really could do with a tan, so I put a little filter over this just so you can sort of bring the lines out a little bit better. I am holding on to obviously a little bit of body fat. I'm nowhere, I mean, I am lean for this, the leanest I've ever been at this body weight, but I'm by no means lean. If you are into bodybuilding, you'll know the difference in what I'm trying to say there. But yeah, you've always got to end your session with a little pose down, and obviously the gym was quite busy by the end of my session, and for some reason, even though it's a gym, we do take quite a dim view on posing in the gym. I've known people to, obviously not under the current management, but actually lose their memberships for posing in what is technically not a posing room, but the mirrored room, and I don't want to risk that, so I always just do it in the bathroom. It's out of people's way, and there's no risk of getting myself in trouble for doing so. But yeah, really good session overall, and this is the end of the video. So once again, thanks for watching, guys. If you haven't already, like, subscribe and comment, leave me any feedback, let me know what you want to see, all that good stuff, and I will catch you in the next video.